Hello, this is Kim Alter, and welcome back to another week of Design Thinking for Social Innovation. This week, we're going to focus on social entrepreneurs and social change leadership. In this lecture, I'm going to define social entrepreneur, talk about the inspiration that ignites the social entrepreneur. Then in pre-taped interviews, Carolyn McKnight is going to discuss empathetic leadership, what it is and skills required to lead social change. And she will also share her thoughts on a personal sense of purpose. Mahatma Gandhi is referred to as the father of modern India and is recognized as a social entrepreneur for leading Indian independence against British rule. He used nonviolent civil disobedience in his pioneering campaign that has inspired civil rights movements and leaders around the world since. Gandhi is credited with the famous quote, "Be the change you want to see in the world," which captures the essence of the social entrepreneur. Social entrepreneur can be hard to define. The word entrepreneur in the definition is important. While commonly used in business, entrepreneur is defined as a person who organizes and manages any enterprise, usually with considerable innovation and risk. Characteristics commonly associated with an entrepreneur include vision, passion, creativity, risk-taking, tenacity, and business prowess. Thus, social entrepreneur is the embodiment of the definition and the traits of the entrepreneur in the social change context. Ashoka defines social entrepreneur as individuals with innovative solutions to society's most pressing problems. They are ambitious and persistent, tackling major social issues and offering new ideas for wide-scale change. I like to say that a social entrepreneur is like Joan of Arc or Nelson Mandela with an MBA. Being a social entrepreneur can look daunting, especially if we compare ourselves to famous social entrepreneurs around the world. Jeff Skoll, founder of the Skoll Foundation for Social Entrepreneurs, puts it in perspective. Not everyone has to be Gandhi, but each of us has the power to make sure our own lives count, and it is those millions of lives that will ultimately build a better world. As you have seen from examples so far, social entrepreneurs' endeavors take many forms: social businesses, social movements, education or advocacy campaigns, process innovations, products, and inventions. This means there's lots of different ways to participate in creating change. Last week, we discussed design thinking framework. Now, the 5 steps are fine if you're a designer hired to design a solution to a social problem. However, if you're a social entrepreneur, there's always an inciting event that inspires you to find a solution. I call this the inspiration step. Inspiration is the catalyst for becoming a social entrepreneur, and it usually comes from personal experience. Facing a tragedy or trauma, like losing a loved one to violent crime, witnessing others suffer, like having a disabled sibling or seeing many homeless people in your community, experiencing the effects of social or environmental problem, like asthma from air pollution, not having a grocery store or public transportation where you live. Perhaps you've participated in a work-sponsored fundraiser or awareness campaign like Run for the Cure that got you interested in a cause. Or you went to a political rally with a friend and learned about an issue that resonates with you. Maybe you were inspired by a social entrepreneur story. One social entrepreneur that I work with is an ophthalmologist in New York. He got inspired volunteering at an eye camp in Mexico. He was conducting eye surgeries and happened to bring along some reading glasses, which he gave out freely. The next day, a woman came to him with 2 live chickens and said, "Thank you, thank you, thank you. You gave me my God back." The glasses had enabled her to read her Bible, which she had not been able to read for a very long time. This was a defining moment for Jordan Caslow and how Vision Spring got its start. Vision Spring is a social enterprise that sells ready-made reading glasses and working glasses to poor people in developing countries. The lesson is that the social entrepreneurs become stakeholders in solving the social problem. After inspiration catalyzes action, passion then takes over and propels the social entrepreneur forward. What inspires you to make a difference? Homelessness, illiteracy, human trafficking, maybe it's disease or addiction, global warming, hunger, or something else. Think about it. For the second part of this lecture, I'm going to introduce you to Carolyn McKnight, a social entrepreneur in her own right. Carolyn is former PSU professor and co-founder of Social Impact and this certificate program. In the following videos, she discusses empathetic leadership and how to find your personal sense of purpose. Carolyn is interviewed by Cindy Cooper, another amazing social entrepreneur and co-founder of Impact Entrepreneurs and the Social Innovation Certificate. Before I go, though, I want to remind you to begin to plan your interviews for developing your empathy map and testing your prototypes for assignments week 3 and 5. This may take some time. Enjoy the videos. See you next week. Bye for now.